Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. Not now, but right now. Errol Spence is going to be facing Lamont Peterson next Saturday. Should be an interesting fight. I'll break it down at some point this week, but at the end of the day, we all know how the fight's going to end, or at least we think we know, right? But if we can move to the future a little bit, because, I mean, the fight that we all want to see is Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman. And, I promise to keep this video respectful, at least until the end. Because, toward the end, I get a little bored. So, let's talk. Let's be serious here. Errol Spence says that Keith Thurman may be his toughest foe, and he's unsure about Terence Crawford's capabilities as it pertains to him moving up to 147, right? Let's get into Errol Spence's, a couple of his statements, 3 of his statements, okay? The first one, I would say that Keith Thurman is the most proven because he beat Sean Porter, he beat Danny Garcia, he has 2 of the belts. He's the most proven, so he might be the hardest one for me to beat. Okay, first statement. Second statement, Terence Crawford has a lot of skill, a lot of ability. It will be interesting to see how he carries his power, how he carries that boxing ability, his physical strength to 147. And the last quote, it will be interesting to see how he does against Jeff Horn, who's kind of a gritty fighter like Sean Porter. He's a little bit like Porter, but not as physical and not the same athleticism. It will be interesting to see how he does with that test. Errol Spence statements, okay? So, yeah, he's right about Keith Thurman, right? Keith Thurman got 2 of the belts at 147. He beat Sean Porter. He beat Danny Garcia back-to-back. Both of these guys are begging him for rematches. And in my opinion, Keith Thurman beats both of them in rematches. I think he knocks Sean Porter out in a rematch. And I think he just completely outclasses Danny Garcia worse than the first fight. Now, the question is, when are we going to get this fight? I know everyone would like to see it next, but Keith Thurman's coming off of an injury. He took some time off after he beat Danny Garcia to get the surgery on his elbow, even though he called Manny Pacquiao out before he had the surgery. But okay, we're going to move on. I told you I'd keep it respectful. I will. He needs a tune-up fight, right? So Keith Thurman's looking at Jesse Vargas, a former world champion. But, he's still a tune-up at the end of the day, right? We fully expect Keith Thurman to outclass Jesse Vargas, maybe even stop Jesse Vargas, right? Jesse Vargas is kind of slow. I mean, he's got the reach advantage, the height advantage, but very flat-footed, somewhat stationary. He's going to get hit. And he's going to get hit often. It'll be similar to the Pacquiao fight, but I think Keith Thurman stands a chance of stopping him, okay? So he fights him, right? And I'm thinking he beats him. Then he's going to have to fight Sean Porter, I believe, next, right? Well, Sean Porter's got some sort of hand injury, so it could be Danny Garcia next. But either way it goes, Keith Thurman is probably not going to fight 3 times this year. So we have the Jesse Vargas. We got either Danny Garcia or Sean Porter. Then at the top of 2019, we'll probably get his second rematch. Then we can start talking about Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, okay? Because at that time, I think that, well, Keith Thurman will have had enough time. I think he'll be ready to fight Errol Spence. I mean, anytime I see Keith Thurman in the interview, it's just, he's backpedaling and he's just making up excuses as to why he doesn't want to fight Errol Spence, how he's not ready. I don't understand how this 360 came about, man. Like, back in the day, you was calling people out, calling yourself one time, talking about you got knockouts, you was calling everybody out, but you just stopped. Clearly, his passion for boxing is not there anymore, which leads me to feel that his O is going to be gone sooner rather than later. Because you got 2 guys in Errol Spence and Terence Crawford that are seemingly on a clash for dominance in the welterweight division. But, when it comes to Terence Crawford, we really do have to see how he does against Jeff Horn. I mean, Jeff Horn, love him or hate him, he's a good fighter, man. He's very rugged, very tough. Like Spence said, not the most athletic, but he's going to bring the fight to you. He's going to make it a dirty fight. It'll be interesting to see how Terence Crawford handles that. Will his power translate up to 147? We don't know. If his power doesn't translate to 147, man, he might have a problem. So we know Terence Crawford has the ability to beat his opponents pretty much however he wants to. If he wants to trade with you, he'll trade. If he wants to outbox you, he'll outbox you. If he wants to get on his Keith Thurman bicycle, he'll do that. But, all right, I'm done with this respectful talk, okay? I'm sick of this Terence Crawford. You know, these Errol Spence fans, man, look. I'm a fan of Errol Spence. I like Errol Spence. That's one of my favorite fighters, right? But anytime you bring up Terence Crawford, they automatically feel that Errol Spence is just going to walk through Terence Crawford. Y'all acting like it's not a 50-50 fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, skill-wise, does Errol Spence possess half of the skill set of Terence Crawford? You know? I'll criticize Errol Spence. It's not a problem. Y'all saw the Kell Brook fight, right? Y'all saw what happened in the beginning of that fight, right? That might happen again if Terence Crawford gets in the ring with him. I know we got to see how he looks at 147 first, but just thinking of his skill set, his abilities, I just don't know if Errol Spence could beat him. You know, I don't know if he could beat Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now. That's my opinion. I think he's the best fighter on the planet. And he's gonna show you that when he fights Jeff Horn. I think he's gonna beat Jeff Horn. I think he's gonna make it look rather easy. It's still a good fight. And I could be wrong. It could be a back and forth fight. Who knows? You know, Bud don't like it when people are aggressive. Or, you know, we'll see. But don't count Terence Crawford out against Errol Spence. Let's not do that. Let's not act like Errol Spence is some boxing guy, because he's not. All right? Now, when Spence fights Lamont Peterson, we'll see how he fares against a boxer. Not just a boxer. Kell Brook was a great boxer, but Lamont Peterson, 10 times more slick than Kell Brook. Right? We'll see how Errol Spence fares against Lamont Peterson, all right? Lamont Peterson has the ability to make this fight look really ugly for Errol Spence. Frustrate Errol Spence. But in the past, we've seen Lamont Peterson not really stay focused and kind of take his foot off the gas and lose rounds. So, Errol Spence is a flawed fighter. He's not a perfect fighter, okay? I'm a fan, but y'all need to relax. Y'all need to relax, man. I mean, honestly, Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence is a good fight, too. And there's no guarantee that Errol Spence beats Keith Thurman. Though I would pick Errol Spence to beat Keith Thurman, it's still a 50-50 fight. It's not a 90-10 fight, okay? It's not a landslide. Keith Thurman makes really good use of movement. He throws hard punches on the back foot, man. Keith Thurman is not, I mean, Keith Thurman is a punk, but in that ring, you know, in that ring, it's another story, man. I'm telling you. He may act like a little punk outside the ring, scared to make these fights. And I have no doubt that he has some fear or some terror in his heart when it comes to Errol Spence. But in that ring, it's a different story, man. So, what was the name of this article again, man? Let me go back to this. Errol Spence says Thurman might be his toughest fight. That will be his toughest fight if the fight ever gets made. Let me know what you guys think. Hitman Boxing, drop a comment, like the video. Stop hating on Terence Crawford. He did something nobody at 147 has done. I'm out.
This world will bring you down with mass confusion and complexities, but I am the master of my fate and captain of my soul, you see. Stuck in a mentality that says one thing and does another. Oh, the contradictories. That's when I visit my utopia of Capricornia to be free. Most would say that's not normal, but for me, life is but a dream, and your reality is what it seems. I'm sitting in the crib I found on Craigslist, staring out in space, scheming what my next move is. I'm thinking that it's time to move west. No idea what I'm doing, I'm just trying my best. Not exactly where I thought I'd be. Honestly, a 9 to 5 never was in my dreams. I've been feeling all alone lately. Nothing I ain't used to since '88 as a baby. When I came up out the womb, everybody knew it was something special about me that fills a room. I never understood it, but my OG told me it's a blessing. I should use it to the fullest, and that's what I've been trying to do. But it's hard to keep a smile on your face while paying dues. Damn, it's hella cloudy in the room, and the shadow of reality is darkest when it glooms.
I'm in the midst of the world. I wish someone could see me. Surrounded by clouds, free me. It's like an endless dream leading to endless roads. I wanna be free from this army of clouds.
I had a suicide dream about a month ago while I was sleeping on the couch in my parental's house. That's when I knew that it was time for me to up and go. So I booked it. Couple friends took it personal. Like, why you just up and go? Ain't even bother to tell nobody. That's rude, bro. It was unintentional. Conversations with myself, I need a hospital. I think I've gone bipolar. Half of me is conservative, any other stoner. I think I lost the love that I had from a good girl. The temp is negative 18, yeah, that's a cold world. Janis Joplin that's playing on my Pandora station. Cosmic Blues, just some emotional life changes. Whole time, no, I gotta stop looking back, because the future's not a present, gotta get on track.
I'm in the midst of the world. I wish someone could see me. Surrounded by clouds, free me. It's like an endless dream leading to endless roads. I wanna be free from this army of clouds.